Hello everyone and welcome to Q&A Monday from a very special place. Happy solstice
Yep.
to you
Whatever
all.
those words are.
Happy solstice to you all. Shortest day of the year here in Australia, longest day of the year over in the Northern Hemisphere. Let us know where you are coming in from. Currently we are at Lura in the Blue Mountains and outside it is 6 degrees. Yay!
Yes, I've got a jumper on and she's got a t-shirt on. She was a little concerned I was sitting back here looking like Jabba the Hutt, but you know, that's okay. We'll lean forward and pretend it's all looking good.
That's right. Hello, Jeff and Jenny and Glenn. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Jody. Happy solstice. Hello, Danielle. Good morning. Happy solstice to you.
Muswell Brook, hi Sherry, how are you?
Muswell Brook.
Sherry, more Sherry.
Awesome.
And that's it, it's just stopped, there's no one else.
That's it, we've got no more.
So tonight is all about your questions and answers on the paranormal or on us, whatever we're up to. Feel free to ask. It is not tarot night, so we do ask that there's no tarot questions. Hi, Dwight's calling us his paranormal grannies. Bless ya. Hi, Jade. Blessed be. Merry meet.
Hello, yeah. Bronwyn, Kyle.
Hi, Xena Warrior Housewife. I love that's a great name.
Hello, Xena Warrior Housewife. We met you this weekend. Awesome.
Oh, Bury the Katoomba, Jen. Okay. Very cool.
Well, not really, but...
Well, I mean, it's a cool area, so to speak. Oh, I'm just going to put my foot back in my mouth. Hi, Stephanie. So where are we staying, Renata?
We are staying at Lura House, and Lura House was built in the 1880s, I think it is, and it is the oldest house in Lura. So it went up before any other buildings in Lura went up, and it has a 360-degree view, and that is what, that just looks awful, and just did a full screen.
They can't see any different.
That just looks terrible.
I just thought you might be able to read what Jeff had there because it was very small print.
Okay, all right. we will answer that in a minute. But it has a 360-degree view all around. They do have wraparound verandas. And on a clear day, you can see forever. It's a
slight exaggeration, but yeah, you can see quite. Well, all we've seen is fog so far.
Yeah.
Which I love anyway. Oh, look, we've got low internet. Let's hope it holds up. You can't blame me for the internet tonight. We are using the Wi-Fi here at Lura House, aren't we?
Yes. No, my hotspotting.
Oh, okay. You might want to put your phone up closer to it then because it looks like it's dropping right down. And I don't want to touch it in case I break it. Anyway, Jeff wants to know, how did we both get into the paranormal?
Well, Jeff, for me, it started by doing my first paranormal tour. So I'd been reading tarot and doing that for many, many years and sort of dabbling in and out of this whole kind of area. And I went into business with someone and we started our own sort of small spiritual centre. And we weren't making a lot of money, which you kind of don't anyway when you do these things. You do them for love. And
no, we've got to get rid of that attitude and change it in the paranormal field. People go, I'm just doing it for love. No, we've got bills we have to pay.
That's true. And so I thought, well, that's one of the reasons I started. We needed to make money. And so I started running a local ghost tour in Newcastle, a walking tour, and really have not looked back. And that was 12 years ago. 12 years ago, more than that, 13 years ago, because it took me about a year of researching and prepping and doing some work before I even started. So about 13 years ago, I started doing these. What about you?
Oh, sorry, I'm still fiddling with internet. Yeah, it was just a fascination I had all along. I was just fascinated with anything paranormal, spooky, loved ghost stories. And used to read all the ghost story books at school. And it was only when I was out on a ghost tour that, I was at my niece's house and I saw ghost hunting TV shows and went, oh my God, wow, there is such a thing. They were using gadgets to connect with the dead, and I thought that was really cool. And I thought I'd like to get into that. And then I was on a ghost hunt in Newcastle, and they went, "Oh, we've got a paranormal team here with us tonight." I went, "Oh wow, the real ones are here, the real paranormal people." So I went and introduced myself and became part of their team. And then you sort of grow through all various stages of your paranormal life until you find the people that you need to be with at the time. So I've ended up with her. I don't know what I need from her, but apparently. Anyway, that's...
You poor thing. You poor thing.
Oh, all right. Hi, Mick. Hi, Carla. Sorry, it just skipped a whole heap again.
Now, guys,
hi, Christy.
There are a few things that are going on, I guess, behind the scenes. One of the big ones is that the services we normally use to post things on, I won't use the word in case we get into trouble, but it starts with face, does not share anything anymore unless you throw lots of money at it. So even though our pages might show that we've got hundreds of people on, we're lucky to get 10 or 15 bites anytime we post anything. So I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart that if you see anything come up from Newcastle Ghost Tours or Anne and Renata Frightfully Good or Us Paratech, to share, because that is the only way we're going to get things out there. We're concentrating on mailing lists all over again. It's like the early 2000s where you've got to send out mailing lists because it's just...
I didn't mean to do that.
Hello?
Hang on. I'm just going to take myself out of that feed. That's a really bad angle.
Thank you.
Keep going.
And so, you know, all of this kind of sharing and stuff is getting harder and harder. And honestly, I don't know how to overcome it. The problem with that is that it's really hard to get bums on seats for tours when people don't know that the tours are going on. So again, if there is a tour that comes up and is around your area and we can ask you to share with your friends, that would be awesome, because that would really, really help.
Did we get a good coffee?
Eventually.
Yes, eventually.
Eventually.
Have we discovered any interesting books? I haven't been to my two normal haunts I go to here yet. We've explored some new ones. Renata bought a book.
I bought a book, but it's off topic. But I'm going to show you the book that I am reading that is on topic. Excuse me.
This will be for one of our True Hauntings.
So the book that I'm reading at the moment, which is on topic, is this one.
Hi, Reiki Pete. How are you?
The Haunting of Alma Fielding.
It was cold out at Wollongby the other night. Ooh, very chilly.
And this one is about a poltergeist. And it kind of goes back to when Nandor Fordor was going out and doing investigations. Here is the delightful Nandor Fordor. And it is about all the things that were happening to this gorgeous lady, Alma Fielding. Very poltergeisty stuff that was going on. So it's an interesting book. I haven't gotten too far into it, although I've had this for a few months now. But like everything when it comes to books, it takes a moment to have time when you can.
Are you taking notes as you're going? Because
no, I'm not. I did bring a notebook with me, but the only work that we have done today, we did in the last 20 minutes.
Yes, for something that we should be able to announce very soon. Okay, so what is the scariest thing you experienced while ghost hunting? For me, it's seeing someone overtaken by something, whether it be spirit or a health condition at the time. And we actually had one fairly recently, which was pretty full on Saturday night. And I sort of, she was being touched, and the name of her uncle came up through the spirit box, and it seemed to affect this lady quite dramatically. So I called Renata over to deal with it because she's the most experienced person for that area on our team. So rather than me do it myself, I passed on to her. Pass the buck. So I always find that quite distressing because you have to you hope that the tools you have in your toolbox will be enough to help that person come back to the present moment.
And it was a difficult one. It certainly was full on. I completely and totally believed that it was a real thing that was going on. She completely left.
She was not there.
There was nothing behind the eyes, absolutely. And I literally had to call her back. So we did a lot of touching and pressing and literally calling her back in to get her to actually come back. The problem also was that her family was around her. And
other people on the
other
tour.
people that had no idea what was going on. And the fabulous thing was Anne stands up and goes, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're looking at is a possession here."
I didn't use the B word till the very
didn't.
end. I just said that she's come in contact with something that has affected her in a very deep way, and Renata's working at bringing her back to the present moment, also to allay fears of those who are standing around watching someone who's having some sort of rather severe interaction with something. But it's also a teaching moment. Sorry, I always have to have a teaching moment. And what's the scariest thing, the scariest ghost hunting? What about you, Renata?
Look, I can't truly say that I've had anything that has really terrified me from the point of view. I really, really don't like super dark places. I don't like not being able to see anything at all. That absolutely terrifies me because I used to have those sort of dreams as a child. So complete and total darkness petrifies me. I need to be able to focus in on something, even if it's shadows or whatever, which might sound really creepy, but that actually does make me feel a little bit more able to cope with the space and just complete blackness. But I really haven't had anything too dramatic, I guess, happen. So I can't say that there's been a scariest moment.
Okay.
We try not to attract that sort of thing anyway.
Yeah. Where's the place that has the most paranormal activity?
In somebody's home where they have made a connection with a spirit and they have some sort of rapport going on, Dwayne. That is probably where the most paranormal activity happens, because what we tend to find, especially in haunted places and haunted sites, is that there seems to be a rapport or what's the word? Relationship that starts to occur between said spirit or entity and the people that are living in that space. And that's where the most haunted or paranormally active things tend to occur.
In most haunted locations, it's spontaneous. You can't predict when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen or even if it's going to happen. So a location may be incredibly active 1 week and then nothing for the next 6 weeks. So it's very unpredictable. Melissa, we are at Lura House tonight, and we are staying in what was it's had
the dining room.
Yeah, no, this was the not the dining room. This was their bedroom suites, and this was their sitting room.
Oh, their sitting room.
But
yeah.
That was to the original house, but this was also a convent as well. So I heard some bangs and things going on in the wardrobe, which is on the outside wall. So there's no other. We're on the corner here. There's nobody else out there. So I don't know what was going on in the wardrobe last night, but I was too tired to deal with it, so I ignored it.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that.
No, well, there you go. Oh, thank you, Patty. Appreciate that.
We'll try and reach Mother Superior tonight, and we'll let you know. There's always a Mother Superior. Always.
Oh, 78 inches. Ouch. Hi, Duo. How are you? All right, I'm getting there. How do you pick the sites for your tours? Were they places you were interested
Oh,
in?
Bronwyn, if it was only that easy. I have had more sites say no than sites that have agreed. And that is the reality of it. So if you think you're going to lob up to a site and just because you want to get in there, they say, yes, we're going to open the doors and everything's going to be fine, bring some groups in, then absolutely that's not what happens. So in most cases, you have to find a site, number one, that normally has the public entering. And number two, you have to explain what it is that you want to do. They will check you out left, right, and centre. You have to have all your insurances in place.
And you hope they do that. Hope they do all their background checks.
You have to have your working with children, your police check, your first aid. And you have to also provide evidence of what you are doing, your experience. We're lucky that I started this 13 years ago, as was mentioned before, and I contacted the National Trust sites in the area. National Trust are often looking for new ways of revenue raising, so they sort of agreed to me doing this, and so
it's very hard to get your foot in the door at National Trust houses. For me personally, if I was picking a location, I would like to pick a location that had reports of ghosts, only because that's what you do as a paranormal investigator, is that you go in looking for reported hauntings and try to figure out what is going on. Barring that, I would go for a historical location and preferably with something that had turmoil or emotional activity that would have been throughout the history, violence, all that sort of thing, because that tends to leave an imprint and maybe nobody's actually discovered that there are ghosts or entities present. And if there's nothing else left, and particularly when we're going away, like tonight, there's been no reports here at Lura House about ghosts, but it was an older location, and anything that's had nuns or priests in it has normally got some shit that's gone down. So that's why we picked that one tonight to stay at, because it was really the spookiest thing that we could find rather than reported hauntings.
Plus, I'd stayed here before a couple of years ago, and
she didn't realise that at the time.
It was a bit creepy.
We're looking lovely tonight. Thank you.
Julie.
Dwayne, do churches have a bit of paranormal activity?
That's kind of really difficult, Dwayne. Churches that are very, very old may well have some paranormal activity, but you also have to remember that churches go through a lot of blessing ceremonies all the time. So there would need to be a specific reason for an entity to want to be within a church for any length of time. So that's a hard one. Again, you may find a lot of places overseas that have a long extended history, have some paranormal activity within sort of sacred places like churches. In Australia, not so much. If you do know of a haunted church, let us know. We'd love to know that.
There is actually one in Western Sydney. St. Bartholomew.
St. Bartholomew's.
Is that the
or
one?
Barnabas? No,
Barnabas. I don't know. It's it's Prospect, is it? Can't remember. Anyway, I'm sure St. Joseph's Merriweather has got some ghosts. They've gone to prison now, though.
Yeah, the thing again with churches and cemeteries and places like that, there have been a lot of rituals on those sites to cleanse them and clear them and make sure that souls are at rest. So, that's kind of not where you look, really.
Just found out you guys are coming to the Central Coast and I can't go because I work on Thursday nights. Oh, no!
Shannon!
Yeah, can you tap a sickie? Yes, we are going to be at was it Wamberal on Thursday the 15th. of July for our tarot show. It's called The Art of Tarot, but basically it's the Naughty and Nice Tarot show. And we've got the Chocolate Wheel of Tarot, and we even do a little bit of seance type communication as well. It's going to be fabulous. So if you're anywhere near the Central Coast, get your tickets. Just go to the anneandrenata.com page and you can find that there. All right, good question, Diane. I would like to know why people only try to communicate with ghosts at night. We don't. We talk to them all the time. The reason why most people do that is because it's quieter at night. There's less people around.
They can live stream it, more people can watch.
People are at home, so they can watch the live streams and things. So that's really the reason why. Also, your senses are shut down a little bit more in that you don't see as much, so you tend to listen and feel more. I think that may help to some extent as well.
Yeah, it's just because you can turn the lights down.
Thank you, whoever just sent us the Lizzie, thank you so much.
You can turn the lights down and put the candles on, and it looks really spooky. That's really the only reason.
Some get others to join in on Instagram during their live
Q&A.
Oh. We can do that if we put out the StreamYard link. We have had people on live before. Stephen T Parsons is phenomenal. His work, his books, his guideline for paranormal investigators, fantastic. Yeah, look, Paranormal Gantry Joe, I agree. And like I keep telling people, read up on what they do and understand. Don't just watch the ghost hunting TV shows and assume that you're going to contact ghosts with them. Look at what you're looking for. So what we use K2 meters for in the field is that we use them for immediate sources, not to contact and talk to ghosts. We find out where the power boxes are or where there might be cables running through the ground, rather than, flash the lights to red if there's anyone here. But yeah, there's one location we can't even use them because the EMF field is so bad within the house. But yeah, if you study up on your paranormal technology and understand it, you would be very disheartened. But we've still got to keep trying. We've just got to keep trying and see what works and what doesn't work.
And you know what, Joe? One of the good things about paranormal technology is that it's teaching people to focus in one area for a particular length of time. And this is one technique that we are really losing out on, the ability to focus. We get people to do a 3-minute vigil on some of our tours.
They can't last.
And they can't last 3 minutes. They're already itching to move around or get out of a room, or so they start to talk or they start to giggle. 3 minutes. Now, that's really sad. Really, really sad. And focusing and being able to be still and listen to what is going on within your body and feel what is going on within all of your senses is really important. So gadgetry, as much as there are things that we may feel are not coming up to standard yet, it has its purpose. And one of those purposes is focus. Yeah.
Do you know what focus stands for? We taught Bill Chappell this when he came to Australia 3 years ago. Feck off because you're stupid. FOCUS. Yeah, anyway. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes, Shannon, I have.
Well, yep. You're a medium, so you probably see more than what I do. I've seen one definitely once, but I've seen shadows. I've seen staticky outlines of things.
And they don't all appear the same way. Have you noticed that? They don't all appear the same way. So if you see a particular type of energy, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see all the energies you ever see in exactly the same way. They do take different forms.
Are they always bad ghosts, or are some of them good ghosts? Are they good people, or are they just bad people?
Yeah.
Basically, there is both.
Yeah.
They're humans that have crossed over to the other side and become different essence. Thank you, Jeff. Hi, Wendy. Just scrolling. And Christy's popping up all our tours that are around at the moment.
Thanks, Christy.
And it just all jumped, so I just lost a whole heap. Drives me batty. Sorry. Keep talking, Renata.
We had a very lazy day today, which has been really important for us because we just work non-stop, 7 days a week, most weeks. And
that's true. There were a few around who touched as well.
Yeah, and we headed off to Blackheath today to have a bit of a walk around, if anyone knows the area up here at the Blue Mountains. And so we sort of visited a few different places and just strolled around and checked out some bookshops and everything, and came back and had a sleep and
ate more.
It was amazing.
No, we didn't need to perform an exorcism. I suppose in a way it's sort of, but exorcism is more a religious-based idea.
Yeah.
So no, we just helped bring her back to where she was. This might be a dark question. We like dark questions. I wonder if you ever get concerned that you might not be able to bring them back.
Look, Stephanie, to be honest and truthful, we haven't had that many cases where these things have happened, where we've had to deal with them in the moment, like on a tour. Look, all of this is definitely not like you see on TV or like you see in the shows where everyone gets possessed all the time and all of these things happen. These are actually a rarity. Thank goodness that in our team we have the skills and the skill set between all of us to be able to either preempt anything like that and make sure that people aren't getting into the zone that allows them for this to happen, or if something does happen, we can act upon it straight away. So it's not like we would go, oh, here's a number, call this person, they'll be able to help you in the morning. We get to it immediately, and we try and assist and help as best we can. We've also got to ascertain if something actually medical is occurring, which may look like something is going on. So, one of the things you do is talk to the person, get them to talk back so that they can tell you what is going on. So you ask questions like, where are you? What's happening to you? And then you ask questions like, what's your name? What day is it? We've got to look at whether they might be having a medical episode, a seizure, something that's going on that is of a medical type rather than a spiritual or paranormal type, because some of those things look very, very similar. And you don't want to be calling out demons and ghosts when the poor person is having a seizure in front of you and they need to be laid down on the floor and looked after.
Yeah. Was she affected after the incident?
No, she was okay.
Yeah, we got her outside, and once we got her outside the location, she seemed to come back to herself, and she continued on with the tours. So we always advise people to go and get themselves checked out just to make sure that everything is okay. Naomi said, can spirits hear you talking to them?
Yes, they can.
I believe so. It's whether we can hear them talking to us. Sometimes we just don't listen. And Lizzie, thank you so much for sending that donation through. That's really appreciated. Do you believe spirits know they are trapped in time, or are they confused and that's why they are still around? I'm interested in your opinion.
Oh, my opinion doesn't mean much because
it's only our viewpoint.
It's only our belief. And so our belief can only come from the amount of material knowledge and experiences that we have. So I never believe any spirit is trapped. I believe that because we are dealing with an essence that is energy can go anywhere, be anything, and do anything it wants. So just like us in the real world, we can be trapped in a particular situation, and we're not actually bound, hand-bound and tied to it, but in our mind, we are trapped to particular situations, and we can be released from that trap if we listen to guidance. And
So you
so
can say, listen to God then, I'm going.
no. And so I guess in the spirit world, that might be exactly the same thing. Spirit might feel that it is in some sort of a circumstance that it cannot be released from, but maybe some guidance allows that spirit to be free.
I actually like that idea, what you're talking about with the trauma, is that some people can choose to sit in that trauma and be trapped in that trauma for their whole of their lives without moving out of it. It's affected them so badly they can't see a way out of it. Maybe that can happen on the other side as well. And there is the theory that if somebody dies suddenly, that they're not aware that they've passed, and even though there's supposedly spirits that are there to help them, they don't understand, and they have to go through a process till they understand that they have passed. That's what I've been told. But I can't validate that in any way.
Don't know. I kind of get that if it is a traumatic and sudden death, then you mentally have no time to prepare that is what's going to happen. Like, you don't even know. So to find yourself out of body, or to find that mental capacity of yours still working when it doesn't have a bodily process, what happens to that energy? I don't know. It's one of those questions that, we can theorize over it, but we don't really know.
I'm going to give you all a quick look around the room. Oh, I've got to get up. So this is the Honeymoon Suite. We got upgraded to the Honeymoon Suite, which I think is hilarious. But all the rooms that had a bathroom, because I don't like shared bathrooms, had one bed. So we have to share a bed. So check out our bed. We have got a 4-poster. Thank God it's big. There's our bathroom over there, which is quite nice. That used to be open and going through to another area. That is the fireplace. That is the wardrobe that I heard. And I'm just going to have to whiz you back around the other way. Sorry if you get sick because I'm going too fast. I will try not to go too fast. And there's Renata. And that's our big windows that we've got here, little bay window area.
Show them the beautiful.
Oh, and this, check this out. I'll sit back down so you can see it. Isn't that gorgeous?
One of the first in, what did you say, Australia or New South Wales or something?
For what?
For that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I know he mentioned it.
It's got lots of
very, very special.
Australian flowers in it. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's sensational.
No spiders, Mick. No spiders. Yeah, no, I'm not keen on the fact it's a romantic getaway at all. Dwayne, how does getting stuck between the earth and heaven happen? Is it because the spirit doesn't want to let go of the earth or something?
Dwayne, we have to consider the Christian belief system that there is a purgatory. And if you believe in purgatory, then you believe that there is a stuckness or a place between heaven and earth. Also, you've got to believe in a heaven. So I'm not kind of getting into that type of conversation, because I guess my sense and feeling about what there is afterwards doesn't hold to the belief of heaven and hell and purgatory, even though I was taught that when I went to school, because I was taught in a Catholic school. But no.
With all these wayward spirits, have you ever tried to give them closure and send them to the light?
Look,
this is always a tricky one.
I've had a few instances where I've had conversations with spirits. But again, is it my role to tell a spirit where to go? They would have to be asking for help first. And again, because I believe spirit is pure energy, it can go where it needs to be. It may be a bazillion molecules that are spread all over the universe. Is it in one place at one time altogether, or is it kind of everywhere? I don't know. I'm keeping an open book on what spirit is. Until I have more experiences.
And is it truly a spirit, or is it just a residual energy, like a video playing? So they're not actually there. It's not actually a spirit as such. It's just a recording playing, or is it our job to push every spirit off to the spiritual realm. If anyone asked for help, I would help. And I have done several crossings, helping spirits who have said that they need help. I have helped them across. And you can feel the energy in the room change when they leave. It's been really quite bizarre. I don't know whether it was just I wanted to think that I had helped and therefore I felt the energy change, or whether I actually had helped and the energy had changed. Where's the most favourite site to ghost hunt?
I want to go overseas so badly and hunt ghosts overseas, but in saying that, there are so many places in Australia I haven't been to yet. So my favourite site is yet to be. Wherever I can get to that I haven't been before.
Birdcage Theatre Tombstone was one of my favourites, and the Stanley Hotel at Estes Park, Colorado was also another favourite. Here in Australia, it would be Q Station and Maitland Jail.
Hello, Mary Tracy.
Oh, and thank you, Jeff. We love doing it. We can't wait to do some more. Can you please? Oh, okay. Can you please explain time slips? Have you experienced one?
The pink unicorn. I have sometimes kind of had that moment. I remember, and I've told Anne this story about driving out to Wollongby one time, and literally feeling as though at one point in time I had no idea where I was and where I was heading. I just thought if I keep going, I'll eventually get somewhere, but I had no idea where I was. But time slips are, a very, very interesting thing. There have been lots of books written about it, and obviously, just like anything else, they seem to happen to people. So we can't say that they don't exist. What do you have to say about time slips? A tear in the fabric of the universe? I think
it's possible. I think it's quite possible.
Yeah.
I have not personally experienced one, but I've heard about them. I think it's possible. But it's just a shift in time or space where all those overlapping, what do they call it, parallel universes and things like that. We don't understand physics yet. Science hasn't caught up to explaining so many things yet, and we may never know in our lifetime. So I think it's a possibility, but I haven't experienced. Have you tried any monasteries? I'd love to try a monastery, but it's whether they would give you permission to go in.
They're just not going to. There's one out at Singleton. There's one out at Singleton. There are a couple, Peter, that you can try all you like. But the moment you mention ghosts,
bye-bye.
They'll say there's only one, and that's the Holy Ghost,
the Holy Spirit. Hyde Park Barracks, no. I would love to investigate there.
Danielle Stevenson. I don't know whether they would even allow ghost tours there. I've tried to contact them a couple of times. They don't answer my calls. So there you go.
Have you ever been to Picton Tunnel?
No, I haven't.
I keep hearing about it, but I
think
never
it's closed
actually been.
now.
Yeah. Do you ladies have any luck when you're at Stroud last time? I'd love to join you one time. I can't even remember the last time we were at Stroud. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been.
Have we been back this year?
Stroud's a really interesting place, and we have had lots of activity in the courthouse. So we use some of the gadgets that we have that Anne brings along to connect there. And the courthouse is always really interesting, but Combi House is awesome as well.
Okay. So can you please explain phone calls in the present from someone who has passed? So this is a form of what they call ITC, instrumental trance communication, using present technology to speak to those who have passed. Because the theory is because the spirit is energy and manipulates electromagnetic fields. This is all theories, that being able to use the telephone, they can project their voice through the telephone or the electronic device to be able to speak to you directly. And there, if you go onto YouTube, there are some examples of phone calls from the dead. Just type in phone calls from the dead, and there's a great one from, is it Konstantin Radive? Talking to them. Apparently it is his voice. They can identify it as his voice, and they're all very excited by the fact that they got a phone call. It doesn't happen that often. Yeah, so that's the explanation I've got. Have you got anything for that?
Mm.
Have you encountered animals that are ghosts? Yes, we have.
We have.
In table tipping, I have, and we didn't realise that the dog that they'd owned had actually died that week, so it was very heart-wrenching. And it was weird because when it felt like, you know, if a dog jumps up and puts their paws on something and makes it tip over, the table just went whoof like that, like somebody had very clumsily jumped on it. It was beautiful. Hi, James. Carla Walker, for those of us wanting to start investigating, where can we start? Hunter Valley area, and we've been on most of your tours and love them. Oh, bless you, Carla.
Thank you, Carla.
It's so hard.
It's so hard. Look, you can start and try and organise a few people that you know are like-minded and want to go out and do the same thing. Get some mentoring. So, yeah, going on somebody else's tours are awesome. You might be able to try and get away for a weekend and maybe book a place or go
like
on
where we are,
or go on an extended tour. Yeah, even if it's a pub. Or somewhere that has had stories of ghost hunting, and you can all climb into a room together and try out some gadgets and things without making too much noise and causing strife in the pub. I know there are a couple around the Hunter Valley area that have a bit of ghostly history, and if you behave yourselves, that's kind of fine. But I guess that's where we all start. We all start with somebody else's tour and learning from other people.
And then we normally go to cemeteries.
And then experimenting.
By ourselves or in small groups, not by ourselves, but you know what I mean, without a tour group. But you have to be careful about cemeteries because people can be quite hurt and distressed that you are disturbing the rest of their loved ones, and that's their cultural beliefs, and we have to respect that because it's traumatic for them. There is an old cemetery just outside of Maitland. What's that one? Near the Walker Waterworks.
Oh, yeah.
We'll try and think of that name. And there's also a lot of convict areas around Newcastle, opposite the Great Northern Hotel. You've got the convict lumberyard.
Mm-hmm.
Problem being is that it can be a bit noisy on weekends, and there's drunks out and about, and there might be people pissing in bushes. Yeah, it's difficult. This is why we sort of started doing our home circles and doing table tipping and things like that in our own home, because that was somewhere that we could go where we wouldn't get in trouble off people. But places like Sandgate Cemetery and places like that you can't go to after dark.
Out of bounds. Honestly, out of bounds.
Oh, may I ask why 3 a.m. seemed to be time for the chosen paranormal activity?
Because someone wrote a book and said 3 a.m. is the witching hour.
Yeah, and somebody made it up. So that's how that came about, or it's the mocking of the Trinity because it's a 3. It's all bullshit.
So many superstitions around the 3 a.m., Dwayne. That's a thing. And a lot of the stuff that we deal with.
I think.
Some of the whole stuff that we deal with is based in superstition. It is based in superstition. So you go back to the some of the stories that were told in myth and legend, and paranormal investigators and ghost hunters are still kind of following through and still connecting with some of that stuff when really we should know better by now. We should know better by now.
Have you been to the quarantine station number 3? I think that's the one that's up behind 3rd class that you've got to go up through the bush, and then once you leave, you've got to spray your shoes down with methylated spirits, because if you disturb the soil up there, that some of the viruses are still active. That was the last time I went there. We haven't been able to go there for years because the bush has now overgrown and the ticks are really bad. So they've been closing it off. But I have been up to that one. I've also been to the one where Annie Egan is buried and William Hay. And I've been, there's the one that's behind Asiatics, which was the original cemetery. So yes, I've been to 3 cemeteries within Kew Station, if that's the ones you mean. We've got that one. Yeah, it's find it hard. Yeah, this is the problem, is that and I had to chat to the group that we had the other night because there was some who hadn't followed the rules, and I said
they're trying to bring alcohol onto the sites, and they're coming in with a can, going, oh, this is going to be fun. No. Number one, you don't bring alcohol onto a site. Absolutely not.
Joe, I am aware of the soul phone because I was asking Lloyd about it, and no, I have not been keeping up with the latest of what's happening with that, but I am aware of it. It's just, remind me. I've got to follow that. It felt a little bit sleety out there earlier. I haven't actually looked out recently.
We're going to go for a drive shortly, so we'll let you know.
Dave. Hi, Dave. Thanks for joining us. Can you explain why I randomly have very vivid dreams of deceased people that I have known?
Oh, wow. That's awesome, Dave.
I'm going to look out the window now.
Yeah, it could be a number of reasons. On a subconscious level, something may have happened during the day that has triggered your memory about that particular person, and it may not even register in your conscious mind that has happened, but it plays out in your subconscious mind while you're sleeping. They might be wanting to reach out to you and just say hello and give you a little bit of information. I know vivid dreams really, really, really stick with you for years and years and years after you've had them. I still remember vivid dreams from years ago. So they're a wonderful thing that our brain does. As long as you can get something positive out of that dream and it has some sort of impact in your life, then I just take it as a blessing and go, okay, I'll follow that bit of information.
And yes, that's where we had lunch, Susie.
Their prices are exorbitant. That's the only thing, Susie.
Bella wants to see your T-shirt tonight, please.
Okay. So my T-shirt for tonight is, if at first you don't succeed, try black magic and mad science.
What is the most insightful response you've had from a spirit?
Oh, we had one most recently, didn't we?
Recently?
Oh, from...
That's been the one that's been the most profound for me.
Yeah. What was it about, anger or something?
Oh, yes. Hurt is wasted energy. To heal, realize your part in it.
Oh, yes.
How's that for a message? So being hurt and upset about things is just wasted energy.
To continue being hurt.
Yeah, right. So to heal, to get through the hurt, understand what your involvement. That doesn't mean you caused the hurt, but understand why you are hurt. What is the reason for you being hurt, or have you contributed somehow or other to this hurt? So I thought that was pretty profound. And this one that was with the tattoo that we've both got was from the World's Greatest Ghost Hunt, where we spoke to an entity that identified itself as Abraham and drew that symbol for us. And it's the energy when he was present was like, I just wanted to cry. I was so overwhelmed with this huge, beautiful energy. It was astounding. Yeah, I love the Blue Mountains, Andrew. I used to live up here too. Why are the questions when... Oh, yes, this is an issue we have every ghost hunt. Why are the questions when ghost hunting said so fast? And this is what we try to slow people down, and we say to them, wait 15 to 20 seconds to give them the chance to answer. But their attention span is so short, and people get so into the conversation, and we do too sometimes, where we're so into it that we just start to converse as if it's a normal conversation. If we're getting quick answers, it's okay, but sometimes we'll find the answers will be out of sync to the question. Like it happened on Saturday night. We asked, how old were you? And then about 3 questions later, we got 33. But then that's also making an assumption that it is the right answer, and it's delayed. This is a serious question. Can a spirit see us having a shower? Possibly, yes. I set boundaries in my home. I say to them they're welcome anywhere except in my bathroom and my bedroom. So that gives me a little peace of mind, and I hope that they're sticking to it.
There's lots of spirits out there that know a lot of secrets, Patty, I tell you that. They wanted all to spill the beans. That would be, an awesome book.
No, John, it's not the Amaru Lodge. It's jumped again. Give me 2 seconds. Have you encountered televisions turning on by themselves and tuned to a person's favourite music shortly after they passed?
I haven't personally. That's an astounding thing to happen. I have heard of things happen like that. So, for example, someone may have gone into the car and turned the radio on in the car, and the first song that comes through is the favourite song of that person that has just passed. I have heard of radios turning on and music being played. I haven't heard of a TV coming on and playing music, because normally TVs would play programs, I guess, unless it was a favourite program that was coming on. We have to find it really hard not to say, I don't believe that something weird might happen or can happen, because we have to really stay open to the opportunity or possibility that everything can happen, because we've more or less heard everything. We've heard things that we have never encountered, but does that mean that they haven't happened? They've happened to certain people, so we have to take that as gospel.
I've still got my torch on, and I have had people call me to cases where they've said a stereo has turned on in the middle of the night that's been stored in the garage and wasn't plugged into anything, and it was playing the song of somebody who had just passed. And I have no explanation for that. I wasn't there at the time to witness it and be able to investigate myself what had caused that to happen. Was there batteries in the thing that could make it operate? I don't know, but it's possible.
I've been called out to a case where a copy machine, fax machine, has come up with words.
It's because some silly bugger's connected to it and is playing. Yeah, anyway. Do you sometimes find spirits are reluctant to interact with instruments but willing to interact with a medium to communicate? Yes. And it's sort of like, sometimes they're like, why are you asking us to talk through this when I can speak to you directly? I don't understand. And they just won't. So, and we've got to respect that. We can't force them to do anything. But I will generally say to them, the people here can't hear you in the way that you would like to communicate, and we would really appreciate if you could speak to us through this device, to give people the opportunity to see how spirit can communicate with the living. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
There are still many people who believe that just because they come to an event, whether that be a ghost tour or an investigation, or whether they're wanting to communicate with spirit, that is just automatically going to happen because that's what they want. we have found through our processes and through our experience that it's not always so. So the more patience that you can have with this, if you want to keep trying and want to establish some sort of a communication link, just keep trying and don't lose your cool with it. Just keep trying.
And I'm sorry, but the feed jumped and I have lost some of the comments that you've made, guys. I apologise. I can't do anything about that. Yeah, John, just don't rush off to go and join the dogs.
Okay. But they'll be waiting for you.
You talk to them anyway. They'll hear you.
Yeah.
Hi, Portable Tree. Hi, Craig and Three Beards.
We're at Lura tonight.
Couples massage. Oh, she won't get massaged. She doesn't like anyone massaging her.
I don't like it. It's an invasion of my private space, of my aura.
Oh dear.
I hope this live looks good and sounds good. Like I said, we are not in the studio tonight. We are at Lura House in Lura, up in the Blue Mountains. And we are doing a live in the morning to the USA. So I hope everything is fine and nothing seizes up. That would be good.
Deborah, he didn't identify himself as any particular last name, and it felt like whatever the entity was a very old soul. And we asked, didn't we ask, was this God? Are you God? And it gave us the infinity symbol to sort of say everything. I'm everything. People call their higher beings whatever they choose to. Some people call them God. Some people call it saint. Some people call it your spirit angel or spirit guide or yeah.
And Abraham may have just been a name that was chosen because they believed that it was a familiar name. It could have been Gordon or
Robert
or Jeff.
Kevin. We even had a Kevin once.
We had a Kevin once. Yeah.
Have you ever come across objects being thrown? Yes.
Yeah.
We have. We've had them thrown at Miss Porter's house while we were doing.
Yeah.
We had everybody sitting in a circle around the table. They were all holding hands. We had some cat balls and things on the table, and one of the cat balls got thrown during a live feed. It was really, really, really cool. Oh, Mel, there is nothing I would love more than to go to the snowy mountains. Oh, that's where my birth family comes from. So it's in my blood to be up there, to ride the horses. Hi, Goldie.
Oh, geez, it's nearly time. God, that went quickly tonight.
We're in a time slip.
Any final questions?
All right, I'm just going to jump to the very end, and we'll see what we've got there.
And thank you for anyone that's sent stars. That's awesome. Thank you. We are very, very grateful for that.
Oh, good. John says he talks to them every day. Alison Kaganami did a good live chat yesterday about how things don't happen like on the TV shows. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that link come up. We'll have to have time to sit down and have a look at that.
Have you ever used automatic writing, and is it easy to do?
I've tried automatic writing.
She's actually very good at it.
There have been a few times where I've sort of come close to something. Again, it's one of those things, Mel, that I think with more practice, you can either work out whether it is something that comes easily to you or not. Part of it is the letting go, so that you're not feeling that your conscious mind is doing the work, that it's coming from somewhere else.
So we are going to wrap up. Tomorrow morning we're on at 10 a.m. I'm just trying to think. The Lura House very kindly gave us permission to stay a little bit later so we could do our 10 a.m. show on Fairies, take 2. hopefully the fairies aren't going to muck around with the computer during that one, and we'll have some tarot readings afterwards. Not naughty and nice, because guess who left her cards at home? Anyway, then we have 2 more announcements coming up very soon of extra things we've taken on. We have one solution to that, but we'll tell you about that later when it happens. And what else?
Yes, so if you are local, please, 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 when you see our tours come up, please share, because Facey is really, really difficult. And we don't get anywhere with the shares and people being able to actually see what we do unless we throw lots of money at it. And I'll tell you what, we don't have that.
Well, the thing is, it's throwing money at it. It doesn't really help, because it doesn't necessarily get us to the people that we need to get to.
No, we've got great tours coming up at Tomago House, at the Gloucester coming up shortly. The end of this week is going to be huge, because we have a Ghost Hunting 101 at Maitland Jail, and then we have our lockdown, our full lockdown at Maitland Jail, which is sort of a almost all-nighter. And so that's all sold out at the moment.
So Stroud is sold out.
Stroud has 2 remaining tickets.
Oh, Prince Henry Hospital this Sunday night. Fingers crossed we are still going to go ahead with that. It's a pop-up tour. I don't even think I've told our team about it yet. But there's 2 sessions. There is 6 to 7 and then 7:30 to 8:30. Apparently the first session is almost sold out, so the 7:30 to 8:30 is still available. It's a $15 donation which goes to the Prince Henry Hospital Museum to help the volunteers there maintain the museum. So you can purchase those tickets through Randwick Council, and I think there's a link up somewhere for that. But be aware, they are big groups that will go through there, but we've divided them up to 3 groups of 10. So they'll do like little rotations, again, little taste of everything. But it does mean we do the same experiment 6 times throughout the night, and our brains are mush by the end of it. We do our best. So thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, guys. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been nice to sort of do it away from. I'm just going to grab my mouse, because it's, oh no, here it is on the floor. So yeah, we will be back tomorrow morning at 10, then back for our regular Thursday night show. And we might go live on TikTok now and do a live spirit box session. So if you'd like to join us on TikTok, it's Anne and Renata, Anne with an E and A-N-D in the middle, Renata, R-E-N-A-T-A. So yeah, guys, nice chatting with you. See you on the dark side.
Bye.
Bye.